fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today to share with you an exciting finish. I have my drills here. These are all my leftover drills and my trash. I don't know if you can guess from what's laying here, but let me grab the canvas and show you the finish of my craft pack Flamingo. So it's complete. As you can see, I think it turned out really well. I'm actually really happy with it. This was a gift to me from Susan. So huge thank you to Susan for sending it to me. And I will stick a link down below to their shop. They sell licensed artwork. They are out of Canada, as you may have guessed. And I have a real thing for flamingos for whatever reason. And so Susan very kindly gifted me this, and I sat down to finally get around to it. A few things that were a little strange for me. I'm not sure what the material is made of, but it feels almost like some kind of plastic rather than fabric like you would get with Diamond Art Club or something, but still totally workable. And it's got, you can't see because it's covered up by my tape, but their logo, what it is, and then it's a 51 by 41, slightly smaller than that drill field, but I had a lot of fun doing it. It is, as you can see, very, very confetti heavy. I think there was maybe some multi-placing down in this corner with some black and of course the beak here. But other than that, it was pretty much confetti. That being said, I still really enjoyed it. I really love these pink colors here. I wish there had been a little bit more pink, but that's the thing about this is a picture of an actual flamingo. And if you didn't know, flamingos aren't actually pink. They become pink because of the food that they eat. So if they eat a lot of the shrimp or whatever that has that coloring in it, they turn this lovely pink color that we associate with flamingos. So because it's kind of modeled, and I think in the actual artwork, which I'll try to stick a picture of over there, this is maybe a flamingo that hasn't eaten enough of that, shrimp with the pink in it. And, it's got some pink, but then there's some other kind of model colors in here. So there's quite a bit of purple and blues in here. But I still think it turned out really, really well. I love the little neck here. Lots of greens and blues, and then, of course, dark greens and blacks over here. But really nice kit. These are resin drills. This was a double-sided tape. And I was afraid it was going to be an issue simply because of the age. I don't know how long Susan had this kit before she sent it to me, but I let it set around for quite a while before I finally got around to it. And now I'm thinking, well, I've got really only, I think, one other double-sided tape canvas that I should probably go look at and see how it's doing. I was kind of unaware. I guess double-sided adhesive has a shelf life. So what happened, and if you watch the unboxing of this or the kitting up of this, I can't remember. Did I do them both at the same time? Might have done them both at the same time. Anyway, I'll stick a link up there so you guys can look at it. What has happened is the double-sided adhesive got gummy, and that's the best word for it. It was still very sticky, but when you stuck things to it, even my release papers, while they would release, they would sometimes have a little bit of residue on them. It didn't affect the drills at all. It still looks wonderful, you can see. But it did make for a little bit of challenge because even here, I can still feel a little bit of the edge of the glue or the double-sided adhesive. So I am going to be sealing this one because I don't want things to move around. However, the upside of the double-sided adhesive being kind of gummy is typically when you use double-sided adhesive, once you stick down a drill, that's where it's staying. There's no sliding it around like you can with poured glue. Unless it's this double-sided adhesive and it's gotten gummy, because I was able to very easily slide drills around and move them to where they needed to be. So there was a benefit to the glue being a bit gummy. But like I said, I am going to seal it. I've got my Mod Podge. I haven't done it yet. I will do it after I get finished filming probably. I just water down the Mod Podge and then I paint it on with a paintbrush. I wipe off the excess with either a baby wipe or just a wet rag and let it dry, and that should seal everything up really nicely. Because like I said, you can still feel a little bit of the glue at the edges, but I still think it turned out super well. I'm super happy with it. It took me about 20 hours to finish it. So it really didn't take that long. I mean, it's not a huge diamond painting, but with that confetti, I was actually really happy with that. As you could see from the tray, I had drills of every color left over. So I had more than enough drills than what I needed to finish them. And they're nice resin drills, so I will be saving some of these. I didn't have a ton of trash. Now, let me preface that by saying a lot of these green drills that you see here, several times on this kit, I ended up placing the drills on the wrong symbol. So this green here is one where I had done like almost an entire section's worth of that color before I realized I'd put it on the wrong symbol. So I had to pull it all off and do it again. Most of the other colors I didn't have that issue with, but for whatever reason that day, that particular color I did. The other ones, you know, just typical little pieces, stuff that's not formed, etc. But I mean, this was all the trash that I had for a kit this size, so not bad at all. The only other thing that I wanted to mention was she does provide, this comes printed on sticker paper. This is a copy that I made. I used the stickers for my containers, and I put this big sticker in my logbook. But I wanted to show you guys, there were a couple of symbols on here that I thought were kind of difficult. And that was this symbol here, which is these three little dots going up to the right. But then there's another symbol here, which is three dots, but going down to the right. And because I am a person who rotates my canvas while I'm working on it, sometimes I'm working on it sideways, sometimes I'm working on it upside down. The fact that those two symbols were in there and they're very close in color was kind of frustrating. Everything else I thought was fine. The colors were clear, the symbols were clear. The only other thing about the symbols for me, and this is not a Craft Pack Canada thing, this is an every every diamond painting company thing, that they use some of these symbols, like this one here in particular, this, like, I call it like a little ram's head. I don't know what it's supposed to be. It looks like a sideways ram's head to me. This one right here. And because it's so big, it takes, you know, it touches the edges of the boxes. So when you're using round drills, it doesn't completely cover the symbol, no matter how perfectly you place your drill, because it just isn't big enough to take up the entire square. And like I said, that's not a Craft Pack Canada thing. I've had trouble with that with other diamond painting companies. And when you get completely finished and it's all done, you can't tell, but I'm just one of those people that, you know, like right here, I can see a little bit of that, you know, symbol, and so I want to make it so I can't see it. And of course, if, you know, I placed every drill perfectly, maybe I wouldn't have that problem. You can see how easy they're sliding around. If I wasn't such a perfectionist, maybe it wouldn't bother me, but it does. So I find myself fussing with it. And then I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I just have to stop because otherwise I'm just going to continue to fuss and fuss and fuss and I'll never be finished. So here it is. Like I said, I think it turned out super well. I'm really happy with it. Like I said, I think there was a little more like blues and purples in this section than I was expecting. I was expecting more of it to all be this kind of, you know, pink like it is here. But super happy with how it came out. Excited that I finally got to do a big flamingo. My other flamingo project was one that I did from, I think, Hula Can, and I ended up with a ton of popping drills and things. So it just wasn't what I was hoping it would be. This was a much, much better experience. I know there were some people that were worried about the gumminess of the double-sided adhesive, but like I said, for me, it actually turned out to be helpful, because I was able to kind of move these drills around in a way that I wouldn't have been able to if it hadn't been that way. And I'm going to end up sealing it, which I don't normally do with my diamond paintings, but just because I want to make sure that nothing accidentally slides off when I mean, it's going to go in my portfolio, so it shouldn't be getting moved around a lot or anything, but, you know, it'll rub up against other diamond paintings in there. So just to be on the safe side, I am going to go ahead and seal it. I'm excited to finally be finished with it. And once I seal it, I will put it in my portfolio, and then it will be there and pretty for me to show off and share with everyone when they ask, what is diamond painting? What is it that you do? So that's it, guys. That is my flamboyant flamingo from Craft Pack Canada. Again, a huge thank you to Susan for gifting this to me. I super appreciate it. I think it turned out really well. Big thank you to Krista, who runs Craft Pack Canada. I sent her a bunch of questions before I did my previous video, and she was very kind and helpful and answered a bunch of them for me. So make sure you go check their website out. I will stick a link down below, like I said, to this, but they have some other stuff out there that's just as cute. I've got some gnomes that I've got my eye on. And they have switched over to poured glue. So if you are leery of double-sided adhesive, don't worry. Any new kits that you get, Krista has said, will be poured glue and not the double-sided adhesive. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.